A lot of places are short on staff. What are those former workers now doing for money? I put most of my money into Doge after quitting my job in October. I'm down 5K. I personally finally left my back-of-house line cook job just 2 weeks ago. The wages weren't competitive, and they would raise them for new hires but not equalize older employees' pay. Needless to say, I've taken a sales position making close to double starting in the beginning of the year. I saw one report that a full 90% of people who did not return to the workforce in November were over 55. They just decided to be retired. Don't let people convince you this is all the fault of lazy millennials that just don't want to work. Retirement, self-employment, gig economy, and the legal cannabis industry, in my state. Something that's being overlooked. A lot of families found themselves in a situation where one of the parents had to stay at home to watch kids after schools, childcare's shut down. Many discovered that their family wealth didn't change, because that second income was pretty much only paying for things like said childcare, gas and lunch money, etc. Without those expenses, it was no longer necessary for that one parent to work. Long story short, people were being paid so shitty. It didn't matter if one or two parents worked. So might as well just cut back on a few luxuries and have one parent tend to family, home matters, full-time. Add this to the aforementioned deaths and adult children opting to move back in with parents. Then all of a sudden you have a lot of former full-time workers who can get by on a combination of minor savings, part-time jobs, making and selling crafts, and/or some gig work here and there. There's no incentive to throw away 40 to 60 hours of your life every week if you don't get decent pay or benefits. Retirement, self-employed, higher-paying jobs are one of the 800,000 Americans that have died of COVID, or one of the people with long COVID. Also, Gen X has almost 10 million people less than the boomers. So yeah, no math. For reference, 10 years ago was 2011. Barely climbing out of the recession. A lot has changed in the workforce since then. That was where people could find jobs. There are even more people working in tech now. Online degrees and working specialist jobs from home. The way we work has changed significantly in the last decade. Stay-at-home mom now. I do babysitting on the side. Much better for me and our family. A lot of folks used COVID to better themselves or realized they did not like their situation and made a change. Some died too. Probably gig work, Uber drivers, DoorDasher, etc. Millions of women had to leave the workforce to care for their kids when COVID hit and schools first shut down. Some died of COVID. Some had babies and can't afford daycare. Some decided to homeschool. Thousands of 20-plus-year teachers took retirement. Same with thousands of nurses who burnt out on the COVID floors. During the pandemic, corporations profited by billions and our government, unlike many others all over the world, refused to care for American citizens by giving monthly stimulus checks. All of these factors have combined to create a perfect storm of massive job openings and fed-up workers who now realize how very undervalued and underpaid they have been. COVID basically gave a reminder that there is more to life than work, so those that could afford it either retired, moved with fam, or they are surviving off of their savings. There is no labor shortage, just a shortage of decent paying jobs. When COVID happened, business were forced to incentives people with higher pay and better benefits to encourage people to come back. A very good question, and I am looking forward to answers as we have discussed this in my house a lot. Not to mention the fact that immigration plummeted during the pandemic. And recent immigrants make up a lot of the workforce for the retail and restaurant businesses that people are noticing a labor crunch in. Not from America, but as an outsider looking in. If half of the American workforce works 2 jobs and 1 person dies, then you have 1 less person. But you lost 2 employees. And reading the stories about the unvaxxed, it would not surprise me that this also makes staffing hard. I honestly see tons of help wanted signs, but no one is actually hiring. Freelance, my good man. Went from flipping burgers to making movie props. When COVID hit, boomers and even some Gen Xers retired. Instead of filling the vacant positions, they just eliminated them and passed the responsibilities on to other full-time employees on top of their current workloads. Millennials will be getting fiscally ass-raped until the day they retire. At age 70. Living at home. Why bust your balls to not afford a home when you can work a part-time job and have a life? Not everyone is just quitting work. They're just not doing jobs that are unpleasant. Owners or managers are abusive. Or for other reasons are undesirable. People are finding other types of work. Also, people who have been working remotely find that they enjoy that more than working in an office. So they're finding ways to work remotely rather than go back into an office atmosphere. A lot of people are also going freelance. So it's not that they're just not working. It's they're finding different ways of working.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.